I hope everyone had a great holiday. We only have a 4-day week this week, so things will go kind of fast, especially with us going into the Outsiders and starting to read chapter 1. You'll be getting a flip book this week, and we're going to start off the week with our courtroom session on our anticipation guide. I've already talked to most classes, and 2 classes have already started the anticipation guide, so we'll be doing that on all day Tuesday, and we'll start reading hopefully Wednesday, Thursday for chapter 1 after we go over. Actually, it'll be Thursday, Friday we'll start reading because we've got to go over our slides on the time frame. We'll talk about S.E. Hinton and the 1960s, that time frame where we talk about the vehicles, slang words, and objects that they're going to use or come up in the book so that you have some kind of visual representation before we actually get into the literature. The grades that you currently have, you need to be cognizant of. Progress reports are going to come out next week, so we've got a little bit of time to put in some more grades. I'll get at least 1 or 2 more daily grades in. That most recent writing test grade that you're going to have is going to be a little bit later. Probably will not be on the progress report. It takes a little while to grade all of those. And for those daily grades, if you've got some that are low, you have the opportunity this week to do, once again, an extra credit assignment. So these would be your vocabulary words. Make sure you're paying attention to the time frame. I'm giving this to you today on Tuesday. That's due Thursday. Turn it in as soon as you come into class. Put it in the basket, your classroom basket. What you're going to do is take these words, define them on one side of the sheet of paper. And at the bottom, write down where you got the words from, whether it's Google or dictionary.com. You don't have to write the entire definitions for each one, just the first part of the definition, then skip a line so it looks neat on one side. Then flip your paper over and write half a page story using those words in correct context, meaning those words have to be used correctly within that story. You can make the characters up, you can make whatever half page story you want. If you want to write more than a half page, if it start building on, make a whole page, that's perfectly fine. But it needs to go from the top line all the way to that center punched hole to be a half of a page. If it doesn't make it that far, it's not counted, because remember, this is replacing an entire a drop grade. It's replacing a bad daily grade with a 100. So you have to meet these minimum criteria. Define on one side all of these words and write a half page story. Next time, or it might be next term, we'll expand this to where it'll be a whole page story. So get in the groove now of this being something that's kind of simple. And it is, because you just finished an entire 4-paragraph essay where you wrote all about one subject. So get used to this. This is kind of the minimum of what you'll be doing for the year. If you have any questions on it, feel free to ask. Again, my tutorial is going to be every Thursday from 3:20 to 4:15. So you parents watching, every Thursday, your student has that option to come in. And whether it's tutoring on just English, or you want to tutor on specific study habits or something like that. I can't do other subjects, though I'd like to. But we have to focus on English and anything that impacts English. So if you feel like they need to be there, they need to be there. If you're a student and you want to be there, if you're dragging, whether it's you want to work on your narrative and stuff even before we get into it, and you've struggled with it in the past, talk to me about it. You might come in early when we start on it, so it's not going to impact you later on. That should be about everything right now. If you have any questions, feel free to ask and reach out to me at any point. You can see everything and all the videos on my teacher website. They'll have them listed, so you don't have to always just go to YouTube. So make sure you're staying on there. And all slides, including this one for this week, will be put on the teacher website as well. So let's have a great week.